What's going on, everybody? This is Dave from Post Rock Promo. I'm here with Austin from Meare from Orlando, Florida. How's it going, Austin?
Good, man. Doing great.
Really appreciate you coming on, man. Let's dive right into it. So, when and how did you guys form?
Okay, so we formed around 2019. Basically, I had been playing in other bands and like filling in for other bands, and Mir was like my way of being like, this is the way I wanted to do it all along. So really it was just being able to capture the spirit of the music that I wanted to do all along. I felt like I was just like uh not genuinely being able to do things that I wanted to do. But not to say anything about the other bands. I just was like, hey, like I write a lot, and I'm huge fans of like post rock bands, and I'm always like, I was just trying to think of like, what would it be if a post rock band was more like infused with different genres kind of style. So I ended up starting it with my two friends. One of them was in Colorado at the time. These guys aren't in the band anymore. Uh, just life stuff. Nothing bad. But my roommate at the time, he was a mutual friend of a touring buddy that I had, and I ended up living with him for a few years. He was the one that actually pushed me to be the singer and take it for real. And he's been in the band ever since. His name is Tony. He plays guitar for us. And yeah, so after that, um, it's been a few years, but we met our third guitar player. He does like keys stuff. We met him. He's in Atlanta. His name's Chris. We met him playing a show here. He was, I think he was TM for another band, and we hit it off with him. And we met him when we went on tour for our like first tour. We were in North Carolina and back. It was not too far. But on our way back down, we ended up meeting him and doing like a live session. This is when COVID first hit, by the way. So everywhere we went, every city we played, the city would get closed like right behind us. So I felt like
Oh, that's
it
rough.
was, it was crazy. So like we played Miami, and Miami got closed the next day. We played Tampa got closed the next day, and we went all the way up. And it was kind of like a fight or flight response, and we just kind of took our last opportunity to do music. Little did we know it was probably the right call, because we never could have played ever since then. So we just played our first show back like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So yep.
That's awesome, man. So, you guys
Yeah.
have released Ari in May. How's the response been?
Arise been great. It really how do I put this? It's more of our like faster, more groovier song, and I feel like everybody like has a great response to it. And it really showcases like a lot of like our different styles and stuff. So like the drumming on that song is pretty like polyrhythmic and offbeat. And we actually had Connor Dennis from Beartooth, and he used to be in Being as an Ocean. He tracked drums on those on 3 of our songs, and he just ripped it. So like it was really cool to like hear it, hear that song in that way, because in the beginning we did not think it was going to sound like that. So we're just excited that it came out the way it did.
Very cool. So, who'd you record it with, and how was the process?
Okay, so we recorded with Matt Goldman. He did Under Oath, As Cities Burn, bunch of Silent Planet, like all our favorite bands pretty much. It was a crazy process. Matt is honestly the nicest dude ever. He's super serious too, but he's a big jokester like we all are. We did 3 songs in Atlanta in Little Five Points, which was like the original spot where he used to record at. So like where Define the Great Line and stuff was at somewhat. And then we did 2 songs in Jellicoe, Tennessee, in this like old abandoned church that was converted into a studio. It's called Gem City Studios. Matt has been like awesome from start to finish. He was like, oh, if anything, he was trying to figure us out at first. Like we were just meeting him, and he was like, wow, I really like the style you guys are doing. And at one point he goes, oh, this sounds like a record. Like he had no idea who we were. So, and we after I want to say almost a year of recording with him, I would say that like we have a good like a friendship more than like a business relationship. Like he's such a cool dude, and we ended up being able to like experiment with a lot of tones and stuff. And he's actually full of one-liners. Like one of my favorite things he said to me was either "This is really dumb" or "This is brilliant," and I was just like, "Oh, I hope this is I'm trying. I'll try for the better." Um, but we got to do a lot of things that I never thought we could have, and especially through Matt, he helped us guide ideas that we probably didn't know were there, or he helped ideas come to fruition. And I think that his experience and his I don't know, like it was the best personal experience I've ever had in a recording studio ever. I've recorded at a few different places over the years, but he definitely has been like probably the best sounding and probably the coolest to be around, especially when you're there for a week or two or something. He made it awesome for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're
No,
from what? Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, he's just like a legend for all these like different records and stuff. So for us to even be there was a big deal, and for us to have the time that we did, it was even better. So
You're from Orlando, Florida. How's the post rock scene there? Do you have a favorite local band, a favorite venue?
ooh, post rock wise, no, there's not really a scene at all. I feel like we're especially for our style. I feel like it's more niche out here as opposed to like I would say up north. It's definitely more of a post rocky scene. And my favorite venue here right now, it's actually like I would call it the Abbey is what it's called. It's more of like a ballroom type setting. Great sound, great stage. But as far as like like people and locally, Will's Pub's awesome. One of my buddies, Marshall, he runs a Montgomery Drive. He's a great promoter, and he always makes the Will's Pub shows awesome. Um, Local band wise, man, there's a lot of good local bands in Florida though. I will say Woolbright's awesome. They're from South Florida. I really like them. My friends in Letters to Part, I used to play with them. They're kind of like more of like ambient experimental. Man, this is something I should have expected, but I can't think of bands on top of my head. And I would also say, man, I'm such drawing a blank. Mood Ring. There's this band called Mood Ring. They're like a Deftonesy type of band. They're newer. They're cool. They're an awesome local band too. They're not really local, but they're good. They're from here, so.
Very cool. So who are your biggest influences?
Oof. Okay. So for me personally, I can't speak for everybody. I know that like, so one of the things is about Meare is everybody's like into different music, right? So like Tony's really like a pop punk guy, right? Like at heart, he does his own project. Chris is like a metalcore guy, heavier side. Keith, our drummer, he does more like rock stuff, and he's like into like I know he's into like Teenage Wrist and like Citizen and stuff. And I'm out there. I'm the one that's like really deep into post rock, and like I love like This Will Destroy You is one of my big influences. Radiohead. I've always liked the craziness of like all the weird loops and all the kinds of stuff like that. And then I think we all like Thrice collectively. We're big Thrice guys. Man, and I would say we all kind of like Bounce and Composure, Pianos Become the Teeth. That's one of my big ones. And yeah, and Oceana, like back in the day, the Clean Head EP and stuff like that. Like we all kind of like bob and weave into different influences. And I think that like that's one of our favorite dynamics, is that we all are different. So stuff where I want to be super post rocky and people are like, this might drown on for too long, or somebody will be like, hey, that's a really poppy thing and I'm like, I don't know, that doesn't seem right. There's always that tug and pull, of just like finding a good medium and a balance. And I think that's what makes us us.
So if you could tour with one of those bands, which one?
Oh shit. I guess Thrice, because it would be awesome. Me personally, I would love to listen to This Will Destroy You every night. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I would say like maybe like Thrice. That would be a good tour thing for us, and we're just a little bit, more on the post rocky side, so we can get away with a lot. So I like the fact that like we do have these like droney dark parts, but at the same time we still have like the singability, but there's still I try to double dip into certain things. I don't want to get caught up in, hey, you guys sound like this or like you're this band, like my whole thing is I never wanted to be a copycat band or anything. And like I said, like there's not a lot of bands like what we like down here and like what we're doing. So, it's a different path, but if in the grand scheme of things, it's just like better to be, genuine and, not really, I'm not trying to do something trendy. I'm trying to do something that we want to do.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So
Thanks,
now I'm
man.
going to ask you some non-music questions. It's a good way for me to get to know you. I did this with the other bands I interviewed. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. First one, favorite sports team.
Ooh, I'm a Michigan State Spartan fan and a Lions fan, and it's rough. It's so rough, but I'm continuously diehard. So I'll let even if they're 0-6, don't care. Like looking forward to the draft, whatever.
Gotta stay loyal no matter what.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, it's a tough road, but I'm not one to jump ship. I watch all the games, fantasy football, I do it all. So
Got my respect.
yeah, right on.
So if you could be any superhero, which one?
I don't know, man. I think I probably like I've been called Spider-Man so many times and like Peter Parker so many times that I would just be Spider-Man because he's got a cool backstory. I'm a big comic nerd too, and like Star Wars and all that stuff too. So I think he's got the coolest like double life aspect, and he does a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, Spider-Man, he can swing anywhere.
Which one do you think is the best? Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, or Tom Holland?
Man, okay. I like Tobey Maguire's the best because I'm like maybe like that nostalgia old. I mean, Tom Holland's good for what it is. I just think that like the stories and the way it was portrayed by Tobey Maguire, that was my favorite. I don't count Andrew Garfield. I'm gonna be honest.
You're all about the original ones.
I'm OG. Yeah, I'm right there.
Very cool. So if you could go back in time and talk to one world leader or person of influence, who would it be?
Whew, world leader or person of influence, man. These questions are crazy. I gotta. Hmm. I would love to. Okay, this might be like my football talking, but like maybe like Vince Lombardi, person of influence. I would love to see how that all unfolded and how that started. I know there's probably way more influential people out there in the world, but I'm just curious about like I've seen the backstory in a lot of the documentaries and stuff, and I'm infatuated with like how he was like, hey, I'm just gonna go to Green Bay. It's like what the heck, and to start something like that, I think like the origins of football would be cool to see.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So if you had $1 million and you could donate it to any charity, which one?
Hmm. I think it would probably have to be like St. Jude's. Like there's a lot of children out there that don't get to have a lot of experiences and they're not able to live a normal life. So any kind of donation to that to better the youth and like giving them a chance to be free from that, something they can't control, something that they didn't deserve. I think that's where I'd put my money. I think that's where my money would go.
What's the best vacation that you've been on?
Best vacation. Well, I would probably say like 3 weeks ago, me and my friend, we went to Connecticut for 2 days, and it was the best 2 day period. It was really funny. And I think that like, because it was so short, it made the experience even better. We actually, so our management, our friend Eric, he put on a show, and it was with Movements and Valley Heart. He manages Valley Heart and this other band. And he was like, "Hey, you guys want to come up?" So we did, and we just went there for like 2 days, and it was a great show, a great night. You know, it was cool to hang out and meet people, kind of like how we're talking. It's like if I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go to Pennsylvania and like meet you," you know, somebody you talk to, and it was awesome. So it was a really good experience, and we had a lot of weird, funny times in a short amount of time. So I really enjoyed it. So it's one of my favorites.
That's awesome, man. Where'd you guys go in Connecticut?
New Haven.
Okay.
So we got we went off the plane to Hartford, I think, and we had to take an hour Uber to New Haven, and like the venue was literally like in Yale. So like
Wow. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So it was really weird because you know, like we were just like less than 24-hour period of being like, yeah, let's go, whatever. And so we go, and the weather was perfect, and like, you know, it wasn't like blazing hot like it is in Florida all the time. So, you know, one of the things I learned from moving out of state, it was like really taking that humidity, you know, like respecting it because it's real. But yeah, we were like right in Yale. The weather was great. It was a good time. And, you know, other than the hour Uber, it was great.
That's cool. All right, man. Last question. What are some places in Orlando that visitors should check out?
Ooh, okay. Well, if you're looking for a bar or something, Tori Tori is a good bar. It's like a newer bar. I really like it. Food Stops, Taco China. It's like a Asian fusion place, like with Mexican food. It's really good. King Bao. If you ever had Bao's before, great place. They're like a rice bun type deal. Um, hmm. There's like Austin's Coffee Shop. It's kind of like Winter Park area. That's like an artsy kind of place there. And yeah, I mean, obviously there's always the go-to like Disney Springs and like stuff like that. But as far as like venues, Will's Pub, 9 out of 10 times there's always a show there. So that's always cool to go see. And yeah, I think some of the stuff outside of downtown are probably the coolest spots. Like not like downtown's cool and all, but like I like all the little like niche places. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. So
Very cool.
yeah,
Well, I
man.
really appreciate you, man, coming on and chatting up a little bit. I really appreciate you supporting me in post rock promo. Of
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for having us. Or me.
course. Well, I hope you have a great night. Oh, for the people that are gonna watch this later, where can they find you guys at?
Oh, yeah. So we actually are on Instagram, you know, at Meare Band, Facebook /Meare Band, Bandcamp, meare.bandcamp.com, all those good things there. And then we're on YouTube as well. So we got a music video up on there. So yeah, check us out.
Awesome. Well, I hope you have a great night, and we'll chat soon.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thank you.
See ya.